Spark up the Lawton, light up the night up. Now let's get it going to the motherfucking top. Don't motherfucking stop till we find life out there. Set up shop, party rocking, bottles popping to the Henny and Mo. It's like 500 bitches, now we having a ball. Got a gun, screwdriver, a knife in the shake. Plus I break face bones with my platinum rings. It's a ghetto love story, I'm in love with the life of the rich and infamous. Ferraris and ice, Lamborghini bikes, they ain't make those yet. I'm still waiting for.
Yeah, what up to the 4 people that signed on? About to talk about the 52 blocks, the foundational Black American martial art, the only American martial art, actually. So check in, let me know who's here, where you checking in from. You know how we gonna cook.
Stay dying, so I'ma keep living the life. Damn right, cause the balance don't stop, the beef don't cease, the money keep coming.
So you know I had to throw the prodigy on, you know what I'm saying? We keep it gully around here. Yo, my brother's in the house. Yo, what up? So we got Ghana on a check-in via DC. The only other real dude I ever really met on YouTube, besides a couple of other ones, but I got one behind the stage, my brother Lyte, Burly, and I got my other brother in the chat from the K&K squad. So we're gonna wait until we get about 10 in, you know what I'm saying? Then we're gonna start cooking. We give 0 Fs on this channel, you know what I'm saying? I'm not monetized. I'm gonna play all of that copywritten shit as long as it sound hot. The paper increase. Lewis Luck, what up, bro? I see you getting consistent with the content. The last stream you did was good. Good looking out, bro. I appreciate you. Already. All right, y'all. So now let me put my headphone in so I'm not sounding all crazy. All right, welcome to another live stream. Most people are going to catch this on the replay. But, you know, I bang hard for my foundational Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? I'm not your average ADOS/FBA. Growing up in New York City, I had the opportunity to mix with a lot of different cultures, have a lot of influences. I grew up in certain places in the Caribbean. I lived in Puerto Rico. I lived in St. Thomas. I lived in Curacao. I lived in Cali. So I'm worldwide, world renowned, internationally known. But I never stopped being proud of who I am and the place that raised me, which is New York City. So I got my brother behind the scenes, Lyte, Burly. Besides my brother Kevin, who's in the comments. You don't find a lot of real ones out here in the field today. But my brother Lyte, Burly, is a sarcastic, he's a sarcastic ass dude. And we met on some YouTube dojo hunting, some beef. We literally are the kings of the pull-up. You know what I'm saying? I was running across the bridge. Actually, I was running from 14th Street all the way back to Flatbush on my training shit. And I just ran up into a gym, started kicking it with the dudes because they were still open and said, yo, you ever heard of 52? I'm like, yeah, I heard of 52. You know, we used to slap box using the 52 style. So he showed me Lyte Burly's video. And it was 52 versus Muay Thai. And that shit triggered the hell out of me. I said, yo, that's not real Muay Thai. So I joined YouTube because of my brother Lyte Burly 52. And I started getting at him in the comments. He got at me. And then he told me straight up, pull up. He gave me the address. He gave me the address to the park, Tompkins Square. We kept missing each other. Then we finally linked up. We crossed hands a little bit, but it was nothing but love and respect. And from that day on, this has been my brother. So I'm going to bring him on. He's going to let us know about the history of 52, how we took it from the street to the ring, how to get in contact with him to learn the 52, his students, his coaches. He's also internationally known. he's getting flown out to European countries. You know what I'm saying? So we doing the damn thing. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring my brother Lyte Burly.
You salute, man. Hey, thanks for the great introduction. All of that is facts on facts. And to add on, my brother Knock, he got some sarcasm in him too. He's very funny.
Yeah, they know I go in on motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like if you come at me and my people, son, like everything's on the table. You know,
Facts.
that's really some part of the gladiator culture growing up in New York City. Like you have to be witty. You know what I'm saying? If you're not witty, you're gonna be fooled. But
That's right.
I was one of the dudes that was never really good in snapping, but I was good at scrapping. You feel me? So we got Cape Town, South Africa on the check-in. Shout out to Cape Town and
Shout
Mrs.
out.
PLC.
Salute.
So we're gonna Miss PLC. What we're talking about today is the only American martial art that was started by foundational Black Americans.
Facts.
All right. So I'm gonna let the expert talk on it. My teacher.
Salute.
And he's gonna put me on game, put us all on game on the history and the origin of 52 blocks. But let me just say something. I almost got into something in the mall like 4 months ago. This dude that I had a little Facebook back and forth over some Africa stuff, right? You know, he called himself pulling up on me, right? So you know, I threw up the skull and bones and robbed the bank, and next thing you know, someone was talking about, security's coming. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So without further ado, my brother.
Salute. Thank you, man.
Down to 52 for us.
Yes. What is 52? Well, we have to look back, we're gonna go way back into as foundational Black Americans. What is one of our greatest attributes? And from the research I've done, it's been defense. And what do I mean by that? Is that we have a high level of skill when it comes to defensive attributes. So you look at Allen Iverson with the crossover. You look at what we do with football. Like we don't just enter the game, under the format that the game is played. We add a little swag to it, and it's that defensive swag that it is one of our greatest attributes as foundational Black Americans. So what does that mean? The fighting is that we just wasn't regular fighters. Like when you think about the origins of boxing, where 52 got his first start at. It was an outlawed sport. It was brutal. It was two men standing in front of each other, kicking the shit out of each other until one man couldn't take it no more and he waved the white flag. That was your victory. So in those fights, even the winner went home looking like chopped meat, but he was the winner. So you interject foundational Black Americans, and we just don't stand there and let you punch on our face. So this is the beginning of 52 and where it started. Now you have a lot of brothers that they come with the Manchu arts, and it goes back to the source, which is Africa. It goes back into Egypt, and all of that could be true, because I think if you look at everything abstractly, everything kind of goes back to the source. Like I was just telling one of my fighters that the other day, it's like your grandmother, your mother, then you. The grandmother would be the source, but that doesn't make you your grandmother's child. You're still your mother's child, but grandma is the source. So that's the same thing with 52, where people mix it up, is that 52 is his own thing over here. Foundational Black Americans, the only American fighting style. So it needs that credit, because if we start attaching everything back to the source, then the things that are created don't get their full credit. So 52 blocks is an American fighting system. Yes, if you go back if you look at different African martial arts, and you can see almost like the same vibe, but you'll never see a brother over there moving like someone from Brooklyn. You just won't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just two different swaggers. No matter how much we try to say that's the source, it's just two different swaggers. So it's an American defensive system that came in with Jack Johnson. And Jack Johnson fought on the Chitlin circuit. 10 black men blindfolded. And he was a consistent winner. So that means he wasn't winning by luck. So you think about, like, how would you have to fight if you were in the darkness? Your hands would be in front of you, and they would be moving as like feelers. So you can feel the man out and then deliver the punch. So you start looking at all of the rhythmic hand motions of 52, and you can start seeing the genetic drift in it. Is that Jack Johnson used this as his defense. And if you've seen when he went on to win the belt, he always had this arm hand moving style, never really staying too still. And they quoted him as being the greatest defensive fighter ever. They have never seen nothing like that. And he said, there was one quote that said, look at young Jack Johnson catching all of the punches on his forearms and elbows. So what was he doing? So it wasn't, at that time, it probably wasn't considered 52, but that was the engine that led to the system of 52, is this defensive ability to hit and not be hit, which is a black saying. A black coach made that up. Stick and move, hit and don't be hit, and bringing home the bacon from Joe Gans.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to look like I was in a fight. I want to get paid for my fight and make you look like you got beat up. So, Lyte, let me acknowledge some people that's on the check-in right now. Liz Biddy, I just had a great session with her, a live session about Pan-Africanism and stuff, different points of views, but she and I were very respectful to each other. My brother Niai is on a check-in from Ghana on Rays of Love channel. And let me tell you about my brother Niai. So I got the three brothers that are really real brothers to me. So Niai, he's from the Ga tribe of Accra, from Ghana, right? Mm-hmm. And these dudes are the ones that's bowed. They're the boxers. So Ike Corte, I believe, was Ga. Niai, tell me if that's true. If Ike Corte was a Ga in the chat, but there's a spot called Bukom, and there's like 30-something boxing gym. That's why I went to Ghana, bro.
Wow.
And I linked up with the most gully of the gulliest out there, and these dudes are my brothers. Hard, bro. And you know what? When we were at the Accra Sports Stadium, they asked me about New York. They asked me about stuff. And like I told my brother Niai, I do cultural exchange. Mm-hmm. So I told them about the 52. And one of the head coaches is he's a CO in the Ghana prison system. And I broke down how the 52 was used in the prison system when you're fighting multiple opponents. Yes. So, yes. Yeah. Ike is a guy, my man. See, there's something with me and God. See, the guy, I'm telling you, these dudes, you'll love them. You'll love them. Trust me. All right, so I'm going to throw it back to you, Lyte. And I want you to tell me about professional fighters, MMA, and also boxers that have influences or straight use the 52 in their fighting.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. Well, shout out to Wilson Pitts, greatest boxing coach I ever had, that he was able to help me connect the dots to the different boxers. He's the one that told me I couldn't have a boxing conversation with him until I studied 4,000 hours of old boxing footage. And he said, then we can talk about boxing. So after I got my hours in, what I did learn was there was a lot of boxers, professional boxers, that used 52, way before Mayweather and Zab, way before Zab put it in. We have Jack Johnson, first off. We have Joe Gans. Joe Gans was never really given this credit because he perfected the jab. At this time, people would hold you with the left hand, hit you with the right, or just come in swinging for the fences. It was Joe Gans who started the defensive use of the jab and then following up with the right hand. So we got to give credit to Mr. Joe Gans. You have Jersey Joe Walcott, who used the cakewalk, which was a lot of people here, because it says 50, the name is 52 blocks. They believe it's all a blocking system, which is incorrect. 52 blocks mean in general of defense. So you're looking at head movement, There was one guy that my father told me about in jail. They called him Chicken Neck. He said all he would study was moving his head. And he said he was almost impossible to hit. He said he would spend hours in the cell doing this chicken neck thing. And when he fought, he said you couldn't hit him with 12 punches. So the head movement, clever footwork, setting up traps, being a crafty fighter. These are all the things that make up a 52 block fighter. So it's more than just trying to block a shot. You can duck, slip, dip. So, you think you got Pernell Whitaker. We got Mayweather. No, we look at Mayweather, and I always get, so is Mayweather using 52? And I would say, yeah. And they was like, well, it doesn't look like the stuff you do. And it's like, well, he's using the Philly shell. Listen to the name, Philly shell, a defensive posture. And guess who brought that in? Billy Briscoe was one of the greatest Philly shell fighters from Philadelphia. And he damn near, if you go look at footage of Billy Briscoe, he fought a young, marvelous Marvin Hagler. And it was the only time I've ever seen Marvin Hagler fight going backwards. That's how serious Benny Briscoe was. His defense was so strong, he just walked you down. And yes, Mayweather has used elements of the 52, which would be the Philly shell, the shoulder roll, catching with the shoulder. All of those are maneuvers made by black fighters. So you can look at Roger Mayweather, Archie Moore, who used the cross arm defense, and Archie Moore, more knockouts in the ring than any fighter ever to lace up. I think he got like 400 knockouts or something. Archie Moore would go city to city taking fights. So he'll be in Philadelphia, fight in Philadelphia on Tuesday, ride to New York, catch a fight in New York, ride to New Jersey, catch a fight in New Jersey. He was fighting 12 times a week compared to these fighters now that fight once every year. You know what I'm saying? So imagine the fight information Archie Moore had, so he used the cross arm defense. He called it the armadillo, the crab. Ken Norton was another one. Archie Moore got older and later trained a young George Foreman. And
I was just about to say, I saw George Foreman do Rob the Bank.
Yes, indeed. He got it from Archie Moore. Archie Moore had trained George Foreman for a little while. It wasn't a long stint, but it was it was enough for him to pick up the cross arm defense. And you can see that Big George used that in the tail end of his career. That's all he was using was the cross arm defense, catching your punches and then coming with big shots off of it. Sugar Ray Leonard with the clever footwork, Wilfred Benitez. There's so many fighters, and Yo Romero. We can't forget Yo Romero.
Yeah,
now, come
I heard
on now.
About that. I heard about that. You got to send me a link to some of Yo Romero stuff.
You got to see this kid, and why I know he's doing 52, and not in the sense of people think just because if you're not doing it because you're not calling it 52. See, we got to get rid of that. A name is just a name. Actually, the name 52 Blocks really came into place by the 5%ers who was trying to use 52 blocks to further what they were doing. That's why you got 52 blocks, because 5 + 2 is 7, the God number, and so on and so on. So they did that on purpose, and it worked for them. In the time when I was coming up, the five mostly you would see 52 from the 5%ers, not just regular dudes, but my cousin, he would who showed me a lot of 52. If I didn't call him Divine, he was beating me up. So I would see him in the morning like, yo, Tyrone, and then it was on. So I seen a lot of 52 up close.
Yo, Lyte. As far as have you ever heard of knocking and kicking from the South?
Yeah. Yes.
Could you break down knocking and kicking?
Yes. Well, from the information I gathered, it was a lot of footwork, clever footwork, and the punches wasn't as they weren't as technical as boxing punches. They were like quick jabs, and there was like a lot of low line kicks. But what I got from knocking and kicking that reminded me of 52 was the setup, like Capoeira. Capoeira is definitely yeah, is definitely a brother or at least a cousin of 52. Like I've been working with this guy down here in the South, and I'm teaching him 52. And he's a capoeira fighter because we're trying to create a new style, and it's going to be called blocking and kicking, and we're taking it right off of knocking and kicking. Yeah, so he's going to learn 52 because it looks like upstairs, downstairs to me. Like
Gotcha.
capoeira looks like 52 of the legs. You know what I'm saying? It's like the clever movement, the throw offs, the sneak and the kick. Where like a Muay Thai fighter, they're just gonna walk you down to break you down. So when I seen capoeira, I was like, wow, look at the trickery of hiding the kick. That's the same thing with 52. The trickery to hide the punch, the trickery to hide the elbow. You got some people even in knocking the kick, and they use a lot of headbutts. So they're slipping in and headbutting the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying? Like I met the brother Diallo Frazier. Salute to him. And that was what he used. He called it the big knuckle, and he used a lot of headbutting with his 52, which I think is more in line with knocking and kicking. That his style of 52 is more closer to that knocking and kicking style, where in the New York style was, win the fight without being hit. Like, I remember many fights I came back to the hood, and they was like, what happened? I was like, I got in the fight. And he was like, he fucked you up. And I was like, nah, I won. But he punched me in the eye, and my eye was lit. So they like, nah, nigga, he fucked you up. It's like, what? I took one shot. I threw him under the car. But so it's extreme as it sounds in the black urban community. We believe in fighting the fight and taking no damage. That is the optimum fight for us. And this is why 52 Blocks was created. So you can see there's no surprise, because what I've found out, every fighting system goes with the struggle of the people. So, India, they got a knife style, like, capoeira with them, like it goes along with the struggle. And the struggle in the projects was you couldn't take no damage. Like you had to win the fight, 100%. 100%.
You had to fight and look good doing it. I seen 52 for the first time in Far Rock. I went to, what the hell was that? Brian Piccolo. It was like a elementary school. Brian Piccolo, who was off of Mount Ave, and I saw one dude rocking a red shirt, like it was like a red shirt out of do-rag material. And I remember he was throwing up something that looked crazy to me, and we used to imitate that stuff on the schoolyard. You know what I'm saying? So when you mention knocking and kicking, you mentioned capoeira. We're talking about the 52. We're talking about the art of defense here. We're talking about hitting and not being hit.
Yes.
All that involves is rhythm. And that rhythm is inherently in us. And we bring that from way back. That's why, the black fighters, no matter where they come from, have that inherent rhythm. You know what I'm saying? And that, I think, is the key factor that binds a lot of these arts.
Yeah.
Although 52 stands on its own, you know what I'm saying? Because our situations made us have to adapt to certain things, and it's the only American art and the only Black American art. So look, I wanted to talk to you about interest. I remember when you and I met, there was a lot of white people that were interested in 52, and it was hard to get brothers interested in 52. Has that changed nowadays?
That I'm not going to lie. One of the saddest things about bringing 52, if I can say that, to the people was that a lot of my challenges came from Black men, and this is part of our struggle. This is the thing that we have to work on to build together. That is, if we can hurdle that, we got most of the war won. And it's gotten better, I can say. Now, because and I also believe that circumstances of everything that's going on, I really get a lot of young Black men reaching out. Matter of fact, I was in the Bronx and I walked into the store, and it was like a group of young dudes. I think they was like 15, 16. They look kind of rugged and rough. And I go to the counter, I'm getting my coffee, and I hear them behind me like, yo, son, that's him. That's him. So on my mind, I already switched back to nigga mode. Like, all right, I'm I'm gonna have to dust these little ones off. They don't even know who they about to run up on. The left hook is ready to go. And as soon as I turned around, he was right in front of me. He said, yo. And then I'm still kind of like on tense. He said, excuse me, sir. Are you like Burly? And I was like, yeah. He said, I told you, son, that's him. And they all went crazy and shit. And then I had to catch myself in my head like, wow, my nigga mentality had me raised up because I'm so combative with my own people. So this is not, I'm not, I'm a client of the company too. I don't want to speak like I'm outside the building on some, Dalai Lama shit. I'm still working out, my inner Ray. As my homie Nakmeezy said, I've been really working with my inner Ray. But that situation there gave me a lot of hope because it was a young black men, like 14, 15, and like usually my crowd base is people from 40 to 50 who can remember 52. Like I get a lot of old dudes that come to me like, yo, like I'm gonna need to learn something because I don't want these young dudes beating me up. So that's usually my audience. So to see that I was getting at the 14 and 15-year-old, yo, that was big shit to me, man. Like I knew that I had to be different. Like I had to start changing my ways. If the young guys is watching me, I don't want to give them my bad habits that I'm still working on. So, I would say that's definitely changed. I'm definitely getting a lot more of my foundational Black Americans reaching out to me, even around the world. I've got hits from my brothers in Ghana. I'm getting hits, from a lot of good places. I'm trying to get down to. I got a brother out there in Jamaica that wants me to come out there to Kingston and do something in the hood, and I told him I ain't scared. What I'm saying?
We go everywhere,
I ain't never
bro.
scared.
We go everywhere with no fear. My brother Prince Darren says, sounds like how we gave away blues, jazz, and breakdancing. So look, Prince Darren, I understand your point, brother, but the problem with the 52 and the problem with a lot of our arts is that we as Black people don't appreciate them. Yes. And as a teacher, as a trainer, you have to share it. Obviously, it would be better if we share with our own people, but unfortunately, sometimes our own people don't even want it. I'm gonna ask Lyte Burly to finish my sentence right here, show you how good I know him. Yo, what is the black man's biggest problem is what? His ego early, right? Early. And that's the thing. A lot of us don't want to bow our heads to come to another or feel like we bowing our heads to come to a brother and say, yo, can you show us something? Instead of trying to learn, they come and try to make it into a pissing contest. Like, I know more than you. Yo, you know what I'm saying? I don't humble myself a lot, but for my brothers, I can do that and say like, yo, this is my brother right here, like Burly. He can put me on game, and then I can try to put everybody else on game. But so Prince Jaron, that's a very good comment. But we're changing it now, and the tide has changed. So
yes. I believe a lot of things that were taken from us is because we never marketed them, and the white man is very good at marketing. Like that, that's one of their cornerstones. So barbecue, like they took barbecue, and we got Dallas barbecue now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that we didn't market things, and so a lot of times we can say they took it, but we just didn't market it. And if we put it out,
either. We're good for that. Yo, to the chat and to the people that are listening, like I said in the beginning, like Lyte Burly and I, we are the original pull-up kings. Like pulling up, like what up? And also, we were both involved with the same organization that really put the street workouts on the map. I'm talking about Giant for a little while. You know what I'm saying? So we was doing that. And what happened with that, the New York City pull-up crew and the calisthenics is that, white people basically saw that and then flipped it and turned it into something else like PX90. They were having all kind of racks where you could do pull-ups and dips. It's because they were watching us on YouTube. So we have to take ownership of our arts, you know what I'm saying? And stop just giving our stuff away for free. Because, you can't just walk into the Shaolin Temple and get the real style. You can't just go into a gym in Thailand and get the real Muay Thai. When I went in there, they had to see who I was first before they gave it up for real. When I linked up with my brothers from the God tribe in Accra, for the first 2 days, they didn't say nothing to me. We were running. They was like, yo, who's this old ass American dude coming out here to train? And then I'm running with him. We sparred, and that's where I earned my respect. And that's
right.
when they started opening up. So the fight arts, you have to earn that.
Yes.
So I think once we could get our brothers to show our brothers that 52 is the truth, okay, then I think we can start getting them interested in learning it.
Yes, facts. You know, it's all around us though. You know, like I tell the young guys and my young fighters that if you go back and you watch the black boxers that were doing it, you can see it, you know, and in a way that is not, you know, because up rocking had a lot to do. It was popular around the time of 52, and to me, what happened with 52 is it started getting too flashy when it got too pretty. And as I tell my fighters, a fight ain't pretty. So it ain't but so much you can do to a fight to make it pretty. Like you can be good, but it's still a fight. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you know what I'm saying? It's like so anytime that the fight is too pretty, either somebody's lying or somebody got fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't introduce all of that pretty stuff, and you know fights are happening on milliseconds. So that's one thing I wanted to do, was make sure that the scientific side of 52 reached the people, not the fantastical side of 52 where it was
mysticism and ancient and
the
hieroglyphics and dancing in front of somebody like you ain't gonna get punched in your mouth. So I got my brother Lewis Luck, who's a very respected contributor in terms of comments on my channel. He says, was Mother Dear a real person or just a myth? That's not off topic. That's right on topic, Lewis.
Good question, Lewis Luck, because I did a lot of research about Mother Dear. And what I figured out was Mother Dear was a title of gay men that knew how to fight and use 50, that was using 52. So my father said he knew a Mother Dear, that he was in jail with Mother Dear. Now keep in mind, my father, when he died, he was like 70 something. And then I spoke with Mr. G, rest in peace, somebody that me and my brother Knock know well. And he knew of a Mother Dear. I spoke with my man Panna, who was, you know, Haitian stick-up kid all through the streets of Harlem, well known. He knew a Mother Dear. So what I figured out, Mother Dear was like black. And you know, in the hood, you can have 20 dudes with the name Black. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, Black from down the block. What Black? Black from 113th. Oh yeah, okay, I know that Black. So Mother Dear seemed to have been a title, and for these gay guys that were using 52 and could fight. So yes, Mother Dear was a real fighter, but in different person. It was a different person. It was different gay men that used the title Mother Dear, because I heard of one Mother Dear that was kind of like a rape artist, and I heard one that was kind of like he was saving brothers in there that was getting beat up by others. So it was different people, but the Mother Dear title was real. I guess it was a title for the gay guy that could fight well. And at this time, 52 was the fighting system that a lot of brothers was using. So that was the research I gathered.
Yo, Lyte, I ever tell you the story about when they tried to rob me from my Gucci link back in the day?
No.
Nah, so this is when I lived in the Bronx. I lived at on Grand Avenue, right up from Burnside, right? And I had a hoodie on and some Hirachis when they first came out. I had a Gucci link with the Nefertiti. So now you know the time that this is around. So I walked past 181st and Grand. I'm walking up, and then they caught me around 183rd. And these dudes ran up on me and was like, yo, what you gonna do for that chain? So I immediately put my back to the wall and said, I got the chain already. What you gonna do for it? Once they saw that confidence that you get from the hood, like they said, either this dude this ain't gonna be an easy Vic. And the back against the wall is something that's a 52 thing from the prison system. And 52 was also called 52 Comstock. What were the other names for 52? And then tell me what movie stars
Oh,
or entertainers have learned 52.
gotcha. Well, you had Jailhouse Rock, uh, Bum Rush. Um, I heard out in Atlanta, where I'm at now, they call it the Stato. I haven't met too many guys yet that could show me anything about the Stato.
You ever heard of Alto Shuffle?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm calling the state. No, the Stato was from upstate. Yeah, Alto was the Georgia thing. Yeah, Alto. I haven't met too many brothers to show me. It sounds like a footwork, because footwork is a big part of 52. A lot of people don't know that, is that it's not about just standing there and blocking, because as fighters we know that doesn't work. Like, you can't just stand there and block. You know, somebody dancing around you, he's gonna be killing you. So it's a lot of footwork, because my father told me about the what they call the Comstock shuffle, Woodburn shuffle, which was names at medium jails. And it was, you know, they did a lot of footwork involved there too. So I think the Alto shuffle is probably, it sounds like it's a foot drill or something to that nature, but I haven't seen it yet. But we got, as far as celebrities, we got Wesley Snipes, who's probably one of the biggest actors that's involved with 52. He's working with Sensei Mo, and Sensei Mo is a brother from New York.
Right?
Yeah, Harlem. That's supposed to have did like bodyguard work for Wesley. So I ended up training Wesley's son, because there's a school in Harlem, and his son came up there, and I showed him a little 52. So that was kind of dope. So we got Ludacris. You know, I got a good chance to meet him, and I met him on the set of Fear Factor, and he was doing this thing, and this shit blew my mind. He got off the set and walked straight to me, said, "What's up, like Burly? I seen all your videos. I feel like I know you." And that shit, yo, you know what I'm saying? Certain things, it ain't got no money involved, but it feel good as a motherfucker, you know. So that was dope. And you know, Luda, and one of the reasons why I'm in Georgia now, because he told me if I came out here, opened the school, he would support it. CT Fletcher reached out to me, which was dope. I don't know if everybody know who CT Fletcher is, but if you don't know him, check him out, man. The man died like 3 times. He got a young girl's heart beating in his chest. Yo, his story is fucking amazing. And he reached out to me and spoke to me, and I thought that was another dope thing. I'm gonna eventually go out there to meet him. Yeah, so we got Keith Murray. You know, what I started doing was sending out, I started inboxing everybody, 50 Cent. I inboxed everybody like, yo, I'm like Burly from the head of 52, yada, yada, yada. And Keith Murray got back at me. So what's up to Keith Murray? Salute to Keith Murray, you know. But I feel like, you know, I was telling my homie Biden was going to win. And of course he's winning, you know, if he ain't already clinched it. And I believe he's going to bring in a different wave, different energy that we need from this divided energy brought on. I ain't gonna say brought on by Trump, but definitely, you know, he kept the flames flamed up. I think this next moment of hopefully healing is going to bring a lot of people into this thing of wanting to get back to learning arts and getting back to you know, a lot of it's online, which is good, but when it comes to fighting is one of those things that you really can't get offline. Like, you can get fundamentals, you can learn fundamentals, but to eventually learn fighting, you got to get somebody to put some hands on you. So I'm hoping with, you know, that, you know, the new norm that we have, that comes back in, because I see big moments for 52. Like, if COVID didn't hit, we had some big moments. Luda had let me know it's they got a fight scene in the new Fast and Furious, but that was pushed off by COVID. But I think the new date is in May sometime. So check out that new Fast and Furious. From what he's telling me, there's supposed to be a dope fight scene, because they did a fight scene before, but it was like 3 seconds. It was like, come on, man, nobody can even see what happened. It was over already. But for what I
52 in Lethal Weapon?
I looked at that, and I can say 52 concept was there. I don't know if it was the 52 swag. Like after me and you went real hard with 52, I started seeing shit like KC, Master Wong. Like if anybody knows
Yeah,
Master Wong is a direct baby of me and my homie. We was on YouTube when YouTube was the Wild West. Pew! Shoot 'em up
early.
Wild West. You could have guns and set up fights. Like everything was happening on YouTube at this time. So it's way different now. Like they got all types of things, which is good. But back when me and Knock was doing it, it was the Wild Wild West. Like you could literally post killing somebody and post it, and it was going to be up. You know what I'm saying? Like it would have been up there. So
how many times dude pulled up on us at the park?
Oh man, low, yo. I remember going to get a coffee one time and came back and Joe was there and his face looked like a ghost. And I'm like, yo, what's good? He said, yo, like, there's this white dude looking for you. And he got this bag on his back. And he said, it looked like he got heads in the bag. I said, what? He got headless heads in the bag. Like, yo, the pull-up was crazy. Like, I think when I put it out there, like, come see me in the park, and they came. I ain't gonna even front, like, huh?
Motherfuckers came to see you.
Yeah. I can't even front like there was like nobody was showing up. Nah, they came, and
they came to disprove the 52,
yes.
And they left most of them as believers.
Facts.
So one of the people that came to the park, and I want you to talk about, is young Burly, and talk about how you took him from where he was to the Golden Gloves.
Wow. When I met young Burly, there was a video store across the street from my house, and my man called me. He was like, yo, there's this young kid in there. He said he wants to meet you. He's been watching all your videos and stuff. You really got to come down, because he knew me. Like I'd mess around, say I was coming, and then just start training and forget about it. So he was like, yo, you got to come meet this kid. So I went down there, and it was young Burly. And when I'm talking to him, he's like looking at his feet. He wouldn't even look me in my eyes. So I'm like, yo, what's up with this little young man? Like, I sensed strength in him, but, I sensed, there was a lot going on. He was a Cancer. I think Cancer men, we can be great, but we have to get past our emotions. Like there's that moment of insecurities and not believing in ourselves, and those moments. And I think 50 Cent talked about it when he got shot, how it changed him. And I sensed that in young Burly when I met him. So he started coming to the park, and he was going real well, and and then he started really picking up. Like everything I did, he would do it better and faster, and I'm like, damn, this kid's it's the truth. So I was like, you young Burly, because me at that age, you was a bad motherfucker. So he was coming to the park, he was going hard. So I went to go get my boxing license, and I'm up in the I went to what's the name? What's the Brooklyn gym?
Gleason's?
No. Gleason's. Yeah, I went to Gleason's. And I know they was having a test up in Gleason's. It was a class. Then you had to train with all of the boxing trainers there. You had to learn to wrap hands. That's why I learned how to wrap hands and all that. So I did all of that. And at the end, they was asking this question. And they like, what you do? And the, black dude's like, what do you do? And I was like, I teach 52 blocks. He said, oh, 52 bullshit. And I was like, whoa, yes. And I was like, whoa, man. Like, maybe that's the version you seen. And he was like, nah, that should have never worked in boxing. Like, you can't block no punches using that shit. And he's thinking about the fantastical style that I was talking about, where 52 got, where, it got too pretty. Like, when I came up, there was a guy named Ish, and he was knocking people out with his 52. But he was also a Golden Glove champion. So what I picked up from that, and people ask me why my 52 looks different, and it was the same thing with Ish that now I see, was that there's a brother named Rob Mel out there, and I can't discount him out of my life, as much as I believe that, he got a lot of work to do with himself. He would come and slap box with me every Friday. And what happened with a lot of 52 block guys was they began to punch like they slap boxed. So this created bad punching skills. And when I met Wilson Pitts, he was like, yo, this shit looks good, but you punch like a bitch.
So Go on. Was
Huh?
Ra your first teacher then?
No, no. What I give credit for Ra is that the time he came down every Friday for like almost a year, like, and Fridays and Saturdays he would come down because I would hang out on 110th and 7th Avenue under the it was like a scaffold area, and he would come down every Friday and Saturday and slap box with me. Like how I met Ra, my friend knew him. He had just came home from jail, and we bumped into each other in Harlem. And my man was like, "Yo, this is that kid Lyte that he's always talking about, the 52." And at that time, when I came to Manhattan, for some reason, a lot of brothers in Manhattan didn't know what 52 was. It was like when I came from Queens and brought it to Manhattan, people were like, "What? Never heard of no 52." So I was like, I guess maybe I dreamt this shit. Like I started believing, like maybe I made it up in my own head because nobody in Manhattan knew. But Rob was somebody from Harlem that did it. And when we met that night, he started swinging his hands around real fast, and he pushed homie out the way, and we started like let me see what you know. And he started, his hands were swinging like propellers, and all I could feel was my mind told me to lift up my right hand, closed door, and Rod tried to slap the shit out of me. Yo, this dude just met me, and the force of that slap, that if I didn't lift my arm up, he would have slapped me to the ground, and he had just met me. And so he's one of those type of dudes. So
yeah, I know. He and I was supposed to fight on an MMA show in I think 2000. What was that, like 2009 or something,
2009,
right? Yeah. They for anyone in the chat and who's watching, I was supposed to fight Lyte Burly's teacher on an MMA show, and it was going to be 52 blocks versus Muay Thai. And this dude Ra is a big dude. He's bigger than me. He's lanky, and he could fight his ass off. I was with the shits. Like I ain't never backed down from anybody in my life. But I'm gonna keep it 100. The goddamn promoter told me a couple years ago that he was scared for me. That's why he canceled the fight. No, he told me he didn't want me to fight Duke. I'm like, yo, son, I went there. I was sitting right a couple of seats behind him. Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm comfortable in my hand skills. But Ra, you know what I'm saying? I'll be lying if I said he wasn't nice with his hands.
Yeah, definitely. But I would have put my money on you, and that's just knowing the fight game is that my man Knock is prepared to fight all of the rounds. And I try to tell people, you can't just fantasize to be a fighter, and that's what happened with a lot of the 52 guys, including Ra and the old ones, the older dudes that I met. Is you smoking cigarettes, homie? Like, do you know with 3 minutes of fighting, 5 rounds, 3 minutes around, you won't make it out of that. And there's a thing of being a natural fighter. So Rob was fighting people that didn't know how to fight. And I try to tell this to all street fighters, and it may hurt their feelings, but it's a fact. If you haven't trained to fight, you don't know how to fight. I'm sorry. It's like trying to be a mechanic without knowing how to be a mechanic. You just can't do that. And fighting is the same thing. But since fighting is so emotional, people believe just because they can get mad, they can fight. And that is a myth. And like I said, my money would have been on Knock all day. That, Ra is big, but Ra has no stamina. He has no skill set that can work over time, like no repetition. And tricks are good, but it won't work in the ring.
You know what's crazy about that? Like people from my YouTube channel who've seen me on YouTube or real life when I turn up. Like when I get quiet and I calm down, that's when you gotta worry, son. Yep. Like when I start just relaxing, everything moves in slow motion. I'm just looking at this point and that point. You know what I'm saying? So the rah-rah, I don't really worry about, but when someone starts getting quiet, that's when you need to start paying attention.
That's right.
So moving on, because I want to keep this to about an hour.
Okay.
Where are some of the places that you've been asked to come and do seminars?
Oh, that's dope. Canada, Denmark.
How was Denmark?
Oh my God, Denmark was dope. Salute to Denmark. Now, out here in New York, and this is not no slight to anybody, but the white people we have in New York, you know, they pretty tough, but you know, you get your Brody on them, and then you know, and they'll fold.
Right.
Yo, those white people in Denmark, they're different. They are ready to fight, man. Like, yo, and then it's a biking country. It's bikes everywhere. Like, yo, they bike, like the women bike, they stick the kids in these little brown boxes. So everybody's calf muscle is overdeveloped. Everybody looking like like baby Mike Tyson's from the waist below. It was crazy. So I sparred like 12 people back to back. It was like I was taking like a 30-45 second break, and I was sparring the next person. Yo, they was trying to kill me, man. Nicely, and they was doing it with a smile. Like, that's, you know, when you try to kick my ass with good intent, I'm with that. Like, I'm totally with that. Intent is everything. So if your intent is off, then that's where I get fired up. But if we just on some warrior shit and the intent is right, I'm not above getting my ass kicked or getting hit on. So yeah, they was bringing it. So I give it to Denmark. Like, they paid me to come out there, and they really wanted to see if 52 could work under pressure, and it did. And you know, and at the end, they was like, yo, you move around so much, like. And it was like, yeah, I'm not just going to stand there and let you kick and punch on me. You know what I'm saying? You got to catch me. You know what I'm saying? You got to catch me, buddy. You got to work for this ass whipping. I'm not just going to give it to you. So Denmark was dope. The people there was dope, and they really made me work, and that's what I like. You know, I went to Florida and I sparred Keith Thurman's understudy, and it was like, this kid had like 67 amateur fights. And he hit me with a left hook that I felt in the bottom of my feet. And the whole room got quiet, like, oh shit. Like Lyte got hit. And what they seen after that was Lyte pulled up his trunks, and me and homie had to fight. You know what I'm saying? It's a fight, bitch. Now we got the rumble in the jungle. And so, no, I always tell people I'm not of that 52 where we don't get hit. With me and Nakmeezy sparred. I don't know if anybody know about Nakmeezy, but he has extra long legs. So I thought I was standing outside the gap. I thought I was clear. He kicked me in my chin. So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I am not, anybody who knows me know I am not above getting hit. And after he kicked me in my chin, I was like, that's good. Let's work. That was, and that's what we did.
That actually was the moment where we really bonded right there.
Yes, facts.
After we crossed hands.
Yes,
but, do you have a website?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For anybody checking to find me, is lyteburly.com. I'm also the only person with an online 52-block class, 500 lessons, 5 levels, 100 lessons a level. It's $20 a month. You can find it at learn-martialarts, all one word.com. So that's learn-martialarts, all one word.com. The only online course teaching 52 blocks. I think that's going to be my legacy right there. I was lucky to meet up with a guy that helped me set it up, and so far we got like 200 students from around the world that's taking the course. So anybody looking to learn the fundamentals of 52, because it's very good. I teach fundamentally, so you get a lot of the good fundamentals. So by that time when we meet up, or whoever you're working with, they can help you work it through and understand what's happening. So yeah, you know.
All right, so Lyte, do you have could you put your phone down and show us 5 blocks?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold on. Let me set it up somewhere. All right. Let me see this for. Hold on.
Yeah, because look, we can't be talking about 52 and then not give people at least a taste of it. So, Mr. As are black people involved in this method in sport? Absolutely. Let my man get busy right now.
So we're gonna start from the orthodox position. I'm using the lead left. So if you're fighting another orthodox fighter, your left hand would be stopping their right hand, and your right hand would be stopping what would be considered their jab hand. So this is him throwing the right hand at you, right back. And what you want to get used to is you don't want to think of blocks, because people hear blocks and they automatically think of this. Where it's like frozen and you're stiff and there's a lot of tension. 52 blocks is a loose art. It's not a tense art. So when you're doing that skull and bone, It's like an eye blink. It's happening fast. And then you're right back to here so you can get the, launching your missiles. You don't want to leave your hands in these funky arm positions that you might not be able to punch from. So from the side door, when we're thinking about blocking round punches, we're using what's called the closed door. So once again, it's real quick. One made famous by Archie Moore was the armadillo or the cross arm, which we call rob the bank, right from here. And once again, it's a quick move. One of my other favorites, which is, it's not actually a block. It's one of those things that would go with the 52 bum rush, because 52 uses a lot of sound. A lot of sound disruption. Excuse me, like how karate would use kia, or you see boxers, they're like, hey, 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 hey. So 52 kind of uses the body as almost like a big drum. And that's one of the ways that they can surprise you. So one that is very surprising, jig smack rack attack. And you move in. So you're covering distance, and before he knows it, you're like right up on him. So that's like one of the bum rushing maneuvers, using a lot of sound disruption, triangle trade. And that's looking at multiple punches, like someone throwing maybe 3 jabs at you or 3 right hands.
All right, good looking. Yo, I appreciate you, my brother.
I appreciate you, my brother, all day.
Put some more forever, my brother. Yo, this is not just my brother in arms, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've called him from Holland and he's talked me down. Talked inner Ray down for me doing some real Brooklyn shit on people. How I am online, that's literally how I am in person as well.
Fact.
I love that energy with my people, but don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? I don't do this rah-rah shit on some, like I'm trying to get a name or whatever. Like my brother Lyte said, you know what I'm saying? I'm nice with my feet, so I will put this goddamn chin on your chin if I need to.
Yes, he is. Very nice with them. Very, let me tell you, after I had been taking a little Muay Thai classes, because Roberto does Muay Thai, but I wasn't really into it that much. But after after my brother Knock, I really got into it and improved my kicks a lot. And I just want to say, like, divine intervention. Ain't no coincidences. Like, me and Knock didn't meet each other by coincidence. This is my brother. If you know, I found out we had so much in common, it's ridiculous. Like, his name is Jamal, my name is Jamar. You know what I'm saying? Like, we separate in letters. Like, he's a Cancer, I'm a Cancer. You know, his attitude, like how he goes at people, is the same way I am on YouTube. And you know, the never back down mentality. That's just who we are. So this is my brother of another mother. And you know, love you to death, man. I love your show. I love what you're doing as far as the Pan-Africanism. You're teaching me things I ain't know, because I was listening to brother Umar Johnson, but thanks to my brother Nakmeezy, I've seen Umar as a frizzard. And I was able to, you know, stop watching the Umar Johnson thing, and now I watch my brother Knock when I need that Pan-African information and info. You breaking it down. You in different countries.
I get busy when it comes to that info. I'm no longer a Pan-Africanist. A lot of people know that because I did my thing as far as studying that. But my brother, we're gonna link up soon. You know what I'm saying? And you mentioned something about how we are in person, but don't get it twisted. My 50 Deep Community Give Back program, I'm gonna keep it 100, was inspired by my man Lyte Burly.
Salute.
Who was teaching people in the park and also giving back to the community in terms of what was it? Thanksgiving, Christmas.
You know, that's right.
He was serving all kind of food.
Giveaways. That's right.
Straight out of his pocket.
That's right.
We don't do the, you know, the e-begging and do this. No, we do stuff from our heart. So we got big hearts.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? We got egos too.
Yeah.
You know, because humility means to have a low sense of self-esteem. And we as Black people, foundational Black Americans, cannot afford to be humble unless we are in the presence of people that we respect. So look, we're gonna end it like that. And thank y'all for checking in. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my homie Nakmeezy. My homie Lyte Burly, my brother. Everybody in the chat, I'll check y'all on the next one. Peace out.
Peace out.